Over 2,000 years ago, a Greek librarian named Eratosthenes stuck a stick in the ground and changed everything. Using nothing but a shadow and some geometry, he calculated the circumference of the Earth at roughly 40,000 kilometers. The actual number, 40,030. He nailed it, with a stick, in the 3rd century BC. So how is it possible that in an age of satellites, space stations, and live feeds from orbit, millions of people are rejecting what one man proved with a wooden rod and sunlight? The answer is not stupidity. That is what makes this so unsettling. The real answer is buried in the wiring of the human brain, and once you understand it, you will never look at any belief the same way again. Let's start with a psychological phenomenon you have probably heard of, but maybe never fully appreciated: the Dunning-Kruger effect. In 1999, psychologists David Dunning and Justin Kruger published a study showing that people with the least knowledge in a given subject tend to massively overestimate how much they actually understand. The less you know, the more confident you feel, because you lack the expertise to recognize your own gaps. A 2023 study published in the journal Public Understanding of Science looked specifically at flat earthers in Spain and found exactly this pattern. There was a strong negative correlation between actual scientific literacy and confidence in one's scientific knowledge among flat Earth believers. The kicker: neither low literacy nor overconfidence alone was enough to predict flat Earth belief. It was the combination of both that did it. People who knew very little but were extremely sure they knew a lot were overwhelmingly the ones drawn to flat Earth ideas. This is the dangerous recipe: just enough knowledge to feel like you can challenge the experts, but nowhere near enough to realize you are getting it wrong. And once that overconfidence takes root, another bias kicks in to protect it. Confirmation bias is the tendency to seek out and remember information that supports what you already believe while dismissing anything that contradicts it. Every single one of us does this. Your brain is not a neutral fact processing machine. It is a lawyer building a case for whatever conclusion you have already reached. For flat earthers, this plays out in spectacular fashion. The Netflix documentary Behind the Curve captured a moment that has become legendary. A flat Earth advocate named Bob Knodel spent $20,000 on a ring laser gyroscope to prove the Earth does not rotate. The gyroscope immediately detected a 15-degree-per-hour drift, exactly what you would expect on a rotating, spherical planet. His response: he told a fellow believer on camera that the results were kind of a problem, and that they were obviously not willing to accept that. In that same documentary, another flat earther set up a flashlight experiment designed to show the Earth is flat. The light behaved exactly the way it would on a curved surface. His quiet response: interesting. Neither man changed his mind. This is confirmation bias at full power. The evidence does not matter when the belief has become load-bearing. But here is where the story takes a darker turn. These beliefs do not form in a vacuum. They are manufactured by machines. A former YouTube engineer named Guillaume Chaslot revealed that the platform's recommendation algorithm had been pushing flat Earth videos hundreds of millions of times. Conspiracy content is sticky. People who believe they are uncovering hidden truths spend enormous amounts of time watching, clicking, and engaging. And engagement is the currency that funds the entire platform. At the second annual Flat Earth International Conference, most attendees told reporters they had converted after watching YouTube videos. Some started with unrelated conspiracy content, and YouTube's algorithm slowly walked them toward flat Earth material. One ex-conspiracy theorist in a 2025 study published in PLOS One put it bluntly: "I didn't just become a flat earther. These videos, I was watching them for months." YouTube adjusted its algorithm in 2019 and reported a 67% drop in clicks on flat Earth videos. But by then, the communities had already taken on a life of their own. And that community element might be the most powerful force of all. Research in cultural psychology has identified 3 core motives that draw people into conspiracy beliefs: epistemic motives, the desire to make sense of the world; existential motives, the need for security and control; and social motives, the hunger for belonging and status. Flat Earth communities deliver on all 3. They offer a framework that makes a confusing world feel simple. They provide a sense of power by casting the believer as someone who has woken up from mass deception. And most importantly, they provide a tribe. Studies of ex-conspiracy theorists reveal something heartbreaking. Many people drawn into these communities were experiencing loneliness or major life disruptions before they found flat Earth content online. The community filled a void. It gave them friends, purpose, and an identity. That is precisely what makes leaving so devastating. As psychologist Per Espen-Stocknes explained in Behind the Curve, if someone abandons the belief, they do not just lose an idea, they lose every relationship built around it. Mainstream society will not welcome them back with open arms, but their flat Earth friends, gone. This creates what psychologists call a self-sealing belief system. Every piece of contradictory evidence becomes further proof of the conspiracy. No photo from space can be trusted because NASA is in on it. No scientific experiment matters because scientists are in on it. No friend or family member's concern registers because they have simply been duped by the system. The belief becomes the believer's identity, their social circle, their purpose. Abandoning it would mean dismantling everything. A YouGov survey found that only 84% of Americans firmly believe the Earth is round. And among younger adults aged 18 to 24, that number dropped to just 66%. This is not a fringe issue anymore. So what can we actually do about it? The research is detailed on one point. Mockery does not work. Shaming people deeper into isolation just reinforces the very dynamics that pulled them in. Caltech physicist Spiros Michalakis put it well when he said that ridiculing these individuals only pushes them further to the fringes. And then society has lost them entirely. What does work, according to the evidence, is patient engagement, collaborative testing of claims, and meeting people where they are emotionally before trying to meet them where they are factually. Because at the end of the day, flat Earth belief is not really about the shape of the planet. It is about trust, belonging, and the terrifying ease with which a human brain can build an unshakable fortress around a broken idea. Understanding that does not just help us reach flat earthers. It helps us examine every belief we hold, including our own, with a little more honesty. If this changed how you think about belief, share this with someone who needs to hear it and drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one.